LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.
Hi guys, I'm here with Luis, also known as Peacemaker, the coach of Heroic. Now, you are currently 1-1 in our Swiss format, best of 3. Give us a rundown of your matches so far.
Well, we had a rough start against Cloud9. It was not what we expected, but to be honest, they're playing really good right now as a team. They just won the major, so yeah, it was just, we had an off day. Then yesterday was much better against Erasers. We prepared well enough, and it was actually pretty good to beat them because on the past, Heroic had a struggle to be able to beat them, especially on Cobble. So yeah, it was good, really good to give us a boost of confidence. And yeah, we were feeling good right now.
Has it been important for you as the coach to make Rubino feel comfortable and sort of integrated within the team?
Yeah, it was very important. At first place, it's hard for him because we lack practice right now. And also, role-wise, he's a different player than EasyTag. So I can imagine how hard it is for him, but we're trying our best to just make him as comfortable as possible within our strats and the way we play. And yesterday went much better, and hope we can perform today as well.
Yeah, and talking about today, your opponents are going to be TyLoo, who yesterday beat Fnatic. So tell me what you think about them.
Well, TyLoo is the type of team that they already proved before that they can upset anyone when they're hitting their shots, and they're really talented players. So obviously, I was surprised about it, especially because Fnatic is also super talented and super skilled. But I don't know if it was a matter of them just hitting their shots and maybe Fnatic kind of, not maybe being predictable or maybe not expecting them to be this good. But yeah, I can speak for us. Like, we will be 100% prepared, and we'll respect those guys because we know what they're capable of, especially because I coached them. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting match for sure.
That is quickly a final point that I should touch upon. Of course, you were coaching them as of most recent before Heroic. So has that fed into any sort of tactics or information you have on the team?
Obviously, I know how they play, and I know the things they like to do. But for this team right now, we feel like we are a better team than TyLoo. So we're going to just try to stick to our own game and just do what we usually do. Because sometimes when you overthink too much, then you end up feeling pressured. Or if things goes wrong, then you might overthink situations when we can just play our own game and we should be able to beat them. That's what we're going to do today.
All right, well, Luis, I'm excited to see how the match goes. Best of luck.
Welcome back to the Star Ladder I-League Star Series Season 4. We are going to be going into our second map of the game of Heroic versus TyLoo. And to be honest, it was very, very, very close, which was somewhat expected, but it really should have been TyLoo's taken over the line. 7 rounds in a row from Heroic in the end. Props to them, of course, for being able to be so resilient, but you kind of have to wonder, did TyLoo just struggle closing it out?
I mean, I don't have to wonder. Yeah, they did. They did struggle closing it out, Tom. It all started to fall apart. It felt like, the key players for Heroic started stepping up. And, I mean, there were a few times where, even though the strategy was good from Heroic and how they approached it, right near the end, there were a few times where, it'd be like 3v2 in the bomb plant. There should be no way Heroic get back into it. And then they managed to, thanks to, like, some insane play. And they were never, like, mental, they were never, like, insane, like, like a 1v4. But it was just, like, one guy catches, like 1 or 2 players when really he like shouldn't be able to. Like, the trade should have been there. And yeah, I mean, ultimately it was a great return from Heroic. Now we move into trade, and as we saw yesterday, TyLoo got pretty smashed on this map. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
I was thinking of MVP versus VP. Sorry, Tom. Train is still fresh in my head for that exact reason. You know what I mean? But
what are you trying to say?
Actually, I don't think this is that bad a map for either team, although I am going to be favouring Heroic heading into it. Whenever I kind of think of a good map for Heroic, this is definitely one of them. In fact, maybe their best map.
Yeah, I would say that this is their best map. There may be a slight change now that they do have Rubino, but I don't think that was ever the reason they were very good at this map. It's an Orpus Paradise. Yugi, I would say, is arguably, I don't even know if it's arguable anymore. He's probably the best Danish Orpa there is out there at the moment, and he's been playing well. Like, he played towards the end of that map well, built himself into the game, and I'm thinking that he's just going to be impossible to deal with. Hopefully, we'll get to see Excurate do some work as well and step up and put a bit of a fight in.
The one thing that I don't fully understand is like I feel like TyLoo kind of maybe screwed themselves a bit here in the veto, because they took out Nuke. Obviously, they don't play it, right? But then I suppose Heroic do. It's like it's such an awkward spot to be in. I guess Train is the better one. It is one that TyLoo up to play every now and again, but they're not very good on it.
Wasn't it Astralis on Nuke fairly recently?
Yeah.
I don't think you would want, if you don't play a map and they are clearly good at it.
I think if you're TyLoo, you relied on winning Inferno. Like very, very heavily, and they should have done. They were lined up to do it. Because now Train is awkward. It is their worst map along with Nuke. So I'm not entirely sure if they can recover here. The only thing that I think, could maybe propel them forward is if Excurate is landing his shots.
Either way, we should be going into this one fairly soon. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing maybe a little bit more of a freestyle coming out from them, because you do, of course, like there's a lot of individual talent. We've already seen the ability of like somebody to win round with pistols. I don't know. I think that there's still a chance that they could take things here. Bentet has a little bit of a resurgence over on the map. I think he played pretty well. And we are going to be going now into our 9th round. Oh, hello, Mono.
Oh, yeah, well, I guess, Tom, you quickly get repairing. I think it's all good. I think that's how it's meant to be.
Close enough. Either way, we do have TyLoo versus Heroic on 9th round. I think it could play a decent part in this game. I think if Heroic get that CT side and get off to a strong start with a pistol win, that's when I do feel like this could be over before it really begins. We did see, the one comparison we can make, although it wasn't them playing, is we saw that with VP facing off against MVP. It was a strong start from Virtus Pro. They started to run away with things, and then there was never really a way back into the game for MVP. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen for TyLoo's sake, although I do think Heroic are going to win this map. I hope that it's a strong map. I hope it's a good map for either side, even though it's not necessarily one that TyLoo will want to be playing. And if they do manage to take it over to Mirage, then I do think it's anybody's game. It would be a real showing from them to win one of their weaker maps versus a strong trained team.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it'd be a testament to the improvement that Execute brings to this roster. But it's going to be very tricky. There's no denying it. I don't want to come into this, kidding ourselves that this map is going to be like even odds. This is a map that Heroic should be winning, and they should be set up now to win this series 2-0. And the reason I do that is because now, if TyLoo do manage to win, it makes it that much more impressive. Like, I don't want to come into this making out that this is by any chance, on this map at least, a 50-50 setup. So, it is going to be the case that TyLoo, they get to start over on this CT side. This gives them potential now to find some early success.
Yeah, and actually Rubino playing more of a supportive role already. He's given over a CZ to Yugi. He's thrown the smoke in as well. Excurate will be there to start things off, looking for Nico, but the trades quickly come in. Bentet and Didi have to try and turn to face these oncoming players. Bentet gets one, but that is all, and Excurate has to try and clutch it. The pistol round going the way of Heroic. It is going to be the CT side start, though, worth noting for TyLoo, but they still need to get themselves rolling. We saw them manage to win a round with the pistols over on Inferno. I think it's going to be a fair bit more difficult, especially when it comes to those sort of CZ plays we see from somebody a lot of the time. He needs to go fairly aggressive, get close, and that can be quite difficult in train, especially if there's an aggressive push from the T side as well. Already, we're going to see a couple of players heading over towards that B site. Nade's going to be thrown out, and by the looks of things, the T's are just looking to gamble straight on towards this A site. Snappy already finding the opening, and a second as well. Shutting down a couple of the players. Didi will manage to get one back, and Bentet and Excurate are going to try and do a little bit more.
Pretty clean round for Heroic. They get themselves a second. Some damage done in the form of Snappy and Moddy. Now a chance for Heroic to make money. Gonna have the SMGs out for Snappy and Nico. Everyone else on the rifles. And for TyLoo, Excurate keeping some extra cash in the bank, wants to get the AWP as early as possible. I have to agree with this sentiment. This is a map that, your AWP, your ability to AWP can kind of make or break either one of these sides. And it's the only map where we see some teams actually break out a triple AWP on the CT side, and it's actually like that, pretty viable.
It's not a bad start from Captain. Just spamming away with that USP. We'll net him the first. Now, bomb going down on B. There's not really any hope for this. Somebody picks up a MAC-10. I'm somewhat hoping he just goes aggressive and tries to do some damage, because we have seen players in the past keep weapons into the next round like a MAC-10. I'm not really a big fan. It lets you have extra utility, I suppose, but it's just such a sort of unnecessary risk. And well, Yugi, stat padding, up to 3 kills in this round already. Obviously not wanting to take much of a risk, and the MAC-10 does actually go and try and get himself a kill, but... And well, I wonder if Yugi may go for this now. Just on for the ace. It's an eco ace. It's not anywhere near as impressive. In fact, will actually be I think the bomb to get the final kill. Either way, 3-0. Heroic doing exactly what they've needed to so far. I'll be interested to see, will there be an AWP? I think there is, yeah. Yugi's going to bring that in straight away. Excurate has his in hand as well, so we will get this AWP battle facing off early in the game. Now, Yugi was very slow to start in the previous map, and that did give Excurate sort of free roam. He was right at the top of the board, right up until the point where Yugi seemed to wake up into the match, and that was where the whole game turned into the favor of Heroic on Inferno. Now we'll get to see if that AWP can do the same in this matchup.
Yeah, Didi over here on the ramp. Going to be holding fairly close. He does have Excurate rotating around into connector to try and help out. Smoke's going to go down. Yugi's able to open up. Excurate does get one before he's dealt with, and now Didi doesn't last long. Going to be 3 versus 4 in the retake. Yugi's just dismantling TyLoo with this AWP. Bentet and Captain Mo forced to try and save, and that's going to be a 4th round for Heroic. Once again, kept insanely clean.
I love how somebody just gets absolutely clotheslined the second he gets anywhere near that site. And while CT side just going to be looking to try and hold on to their remaining weapons, they'll have 2,900 coming in the next round. I don't think they'll force it. Probably just come in with some pistols alongside the rifles that they have. From a T-side perspective, I'm a little bit surprised they haven't gone for a bit more of a hunt. They haven't built up a ridiculous amount of money. So that's probably why we haven't seen them push so far down. But they do have a decent bank. They could have looked to try and take this gun away. And Captain Mo almost caught running to try and pick up that AWP. He won't manage it. It will be 4-0. And I think the CT side, as I said, probably just going to get a couple of pistols in this round. Try and do some damage. Wait to make sure they can get the AWP in the next.
Yeah, Tom, you'll be glad to know, at least for your prediction, that the last time TyLoo played this map was about 2.5 months ago. So they haven't been very active on it. The last team they beat was MVP.
Who I don't think are a very good trained team, so...
I get that impression too.
That's not really anything to go on. Either way, bit of a push coming in towards Ivy. Captain Mo is one of the rifle players. He's had big rounds over on Inferno. Let's see what he can do here. Spots out Rubino, sprays one, but it will be a trade from Snappy. Just a 1-for-1, which considering there's only 2 rifles, that really isn't too bad. And Yugi just going to spend the time to get rid of that extra gun. Doesn't want to risk it going in, although they can still go and retrieve the other rifle. Sneaking onto the site has been Nico. Managing to find a first. Somebody round the corner. Normally great with that CZ, but Nico just knocking him down. Spray actually a bit missed, and Bentet will at least be able to trade one back. Push going to continue onto this site. Didi left with that CZ once again. His opponent's low. He catches one at least, and there should be a rifle for him to find. Done a lot of damage here, but it will still be another round for Heroic. 5-0 up. Now comes the big buy.
Yeah, big buy for TyLoo. Going to have the AWP out on Execute. The only downside to this CT side when you get the max loss bonus is, unlike what we really see happen with the T side, there are rounds where even when you lose with the max loss bonus, because it is so much more expensive to buy up on the CT side, that you just can't do it. So you can end up in situations where you buy, and then you lose, and then you have to save a round, and then you buy, you lose, you save, and you just get stuck in that rut. So it is important that TyLoo start to chain some rounds together, not only for themselves, but to start to break down at this Heroic economy. Double up setup board out. Captain Mo has one of these. He's going to go blow for blow with Yugi. Down here towards Ivy. That's a devastating battle to take. Yugi's going to go ahead and retreat. Joins up with the rest of the gang. Looks like they're all in a position to line up some smokes out towards A. Yeah, imagine this is just going to be 4 players. Out through main with Modi peeking in late into connector. With how TyLoo is set up, they're playing this very passively. That seems to be their go-to style on the CT side. So now the push comes in. Somebody going to be an old hell. Rubino, first man into the site, going to discover that it is indeed clear. There are 4 players sat on the outskirts ready to push in. The bomb plant looks to come through, and it's 5v5 in the retake. So far, I think it's only the AWPs that have fired a bullet in this round.
What? This is really weird. The Rubino is going to catch one. See, in a normal round scenario, I would suggest saving here for the CT side, but this is what they almost planned. They're going to try and get towards that bomb plant. They don't even have much utility to try and fight this back. This is just so easy so far for the CT side. They haven't had much of a challenge. Finally, Captain Mo will actually pick up a couple, and he has got 4 kills, but it's not enough. That's the question. It's not enough. He does all of this work with that AWP, but it's still the round going the way of the T's. And this is what I think, like, on maps like Inferno, strategies like that can work. Like playing just on the retake A is so difficult because there's so many angles to clear, and they didn't have much utility. They didn't have the incendiaries to force players out of the site. I think they needed some sort of opening, and instead, they kind of just gave an easy round over. Yeah, granted, it came close in the end, but I still don't feel like Heroic really broke a sweat.
Yeah, I mean, this A bomb site on Train, it's so important that you find the frags on Heroic as they enter. That's like the sort of dynamic around Train, is that the sites are hard to retake, but easy to hold. You know, Heroic are expecting to take heavy casualties and then win it out, perhaps being like even a man down in a retake can be tricky enough on Train. Because you've got so many angles where you can just play passively from, or wrap around, that you leave the CTs with very little time to actually get them all checked. And in a 5-on-5, you would expect the T side to win. So now Modi, look at him go. Look at how far he's got. They're not ready for this. There are still 2 players inside the site. One is going to start taking shots from behind. He is going to go down. They still have more players to worry about, but they've gotten in very quickly. This round was looking good for Heroic, but now that's been turned on its head. In the blink of an eye, is just Yugi left. He's 1v4, has the AWP in hand. Going to turn his attention now to saving as he backs away. It is going to be a round for TyLoo. And quite crucially, if they get to keep 4 players alive and pick up all of these weapons, that's also a very good recovery from their economy, rather.
Yeah, this would be an absolutely massive boost for them. They're going to go hunting. Now, in terms of Heroic, this AWP save isn't crucial. They've got enough money that they can buy into the next round no matter what. So I don't think that they want to overface for this weapon. It would be great to take it out of the hands of Yugi, but that's a lot easier said than done, especially with the position he's currently hiding in. I don't think it's going to be happening. So TyLoo, they manage a round from very little, and so far Captain Mo really has been the catalyst for this team. 8 kills since he's had that AWP. In fact, 4 in the last 2 in this one, so only 2 rounds prior to that. T-side are going to be able to buy back up, and in fact, could probably buy into the next round as well. So no real hindrance from them yet. That is the advantage of winning 6 rounds in a row, although they did take a bit of a hit in the previous one. Of course, only 1 player surviving in the form of Yugi. Now the double AWP setup will be brought back in. Excurate, with 4 kills on the board so far, has that other AWP, and somebody hitting 007 peek out. Yugi takes a tag early on in the round. Somebody is going to be playing fairly aggressive, and Excurate wins that battle. Yugi is gone. That's his first death, I believe, as well. Flashbang going to come in. Somebody's completely overwhelmed, and that will be Pop Dog into the control of Heroic if they want it. But as of yet, they've fallen back. Still watching for any aggression over towards the B side. There's 2 players remaining on that site. It will be both rifle players, meaning the defense of this A site is purely AWPers. So a faster player smoke setup could completely isolate TyLoo. And while the smokes do look like they're being lined up just outside that A site, up in an aggressive position will be Excurate. Still watching to see if anybody comes out towards Pop. Smokes will fall in. This is going to create a fallback from the remaining players. And actually, in fact, it's almost a full rotation. DD starts making his way back, but it's all just an elaborate ruse. The push has come in from Nico. He's trying to sell this as a bit of a fake. And I think he may have got a little bit of a misread here, thinking that there's nobody here. Does some damage. Excurate takes his head clean off. It's going to be a 4v3 retake when the bomb goes down.
Nice shot from Snappy. Keeps things even. Modi going to be in with one more. Excurate tries to sneak into the site and pays for that with his life. Now, Bentep and DD left. Bomb ticking down. Rubino and Modi both just holding passively, watching that bomb. This is why retaking A is so difficult. Rubino is going to come out. Snappy peeks as well. Spray transfer from DD nets him both. And now it's Snappy. Tries to deny, but he won't be able to. And TyLoo, they are back with a second. There should be no way for that to happen. Perhaps a little bit too aggressive on those peaks, committing too much. And when Rubino goes down, the pressure then gets turned up for the trade to come in. And that ultimately allows DD to find both of those frags. There should have been no way back into that. But there's TyLoo in with a second.
Yeah, starting to come alive a little bit into this one. It will still be another buy up for the T side. Both teams taking a bit of a hit, although actually the CTs have slightly more money. Very, very slightly. It's still going to be the loser of this round in quite a bit of trouble. Faster play looking to come out from this T side already. Didi has been spotted. Actually, T's initially going aggressive, maybe hoping that if they got that kill onto Didi, they could just barrel onto the site. Instead, they have slowed right down. Flashbang going to be lined up by Nico, looking to set them into this site. There's a couple of players here. Excurate will get the opener onto Modi from above. Didi with another for himself as well, leaving only 3 players remaining. And in fact, everything's going wrong at the moment for this T side. Yugi and Nico, the two highlighted at the beginning as the players who would be here on this map, are the only 2 remaining. Nico fakes out the bomb plant, but isn't actually going to get it down just yet. And that could be quite a big plant for his team. And now Yugi is left alone with so much left to do. His angle will be watched, and Captain Mo decapitates him. This double op setup has been fairly successful so far for TyLoo. Now the T side, well, their money is not in a good state.
Yeah, TyLoo, they have been able to break that T side economy while still keeping a fairly healthy one for themselves. Awkward spot to buy in because you can actually buy up on 2 of your players. But Heroic know how important utility is on this map and how important it has been to a lot of these takes. So you imagine it might just be a partial buy-in. No, they're going to go for it.
I don't know if I agree with that. It's not the worst buy in the world, and but the fact that CT side had 4 players surviving in the last round makes me think that it probably wasn't worth it. Although they've already got 6 over on the T side. I know that their CT side, they're going to be feeling more confident. I may just want to try and get as many as humanly possible. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this buy. We'll see if they can make it work. If they get a bomb plant, they'll get AKs in the next round anyway. So maybe that is one of the reasons they have gone for an investment here. Yugi will be there with a scout. A little bit of aggression coming out over towards this Ivy spot. Somebody will be there. And Excura is doing the same over towards B, looking to just push portions of the map. Gain some information. As you said, smoke setups, the utility has been important for Heroic so far. So they are going to throw the initial nades in over towards the A side, but it's Captain Mo to actually kick things off with that AWP. Bentet with another, already nailing the second frag. He's actually looking to try and go flashing through. He's running into the man, planting the bomb, and it will at least go down. So that is the money made. That's exactly what Heroic needed in terms of having somewhat of a buy in the next round. But that, well, in terms of damage, did next to nothing. And TyLoo will build up even more cash.
I think Captain Mo is discovering right now that he really likes this map. He's been key in these last few rounds that TyLoo have won. For somebody, he's discovering he really doesn't like this map. He was one of the big-time players for them on Inferno. Currently 1-8.
Well, he was a man that yesterday loved using the SMG and the CZ, and this map, not really the best for either of those guns, if I'm honest. We will have a small investment coming in from the T side. They'll make sure that they get a full buy into the next anyway, but it does give a chance for TyLoo to get right back into this map. Aggressive position from somebody, sprays down one, but it will be the trades. And, well, I'm starting to wonder who the primary AWPer is for this team, as Captain Mo has stepped up massively. Another couple of kills coming in for him. He's 15-5 at the moment. Now, he was always the AWPer for this team until Excure came into the roster. So it's no surprise that he is, well, very good with this AWP, but this is a different showing altogether. Now they've even got 3 snipers. Somebody has had enough of being killed, so he's decided to buy up an auto as well. This is quite audacious, and actually, if we see a faster play out, maybe a B take from Heroic, they could come into some real problems. However, doesn't look like it. Ivy is going to be the initial point of contention for this T side. The majority of their team making their way to that point. The man who's been defending it has been Captain Mo. He's just going to be holding onto the angle. Yugi waiting just around the corner. Pop flash will force him off. Now, a repeat here will be a little bit risky, but he takes it anyway. He's just on fire at the moment. Takes down Rubino. Will be traded back by Yugi eventually, so... Oh, the king is dead. The question is, will Yugi now take up that mantle as the king?
Well, the auto sniper going to be jamming in down through Ivy. That is a terrifying sound to hear. They're going to start to line up these smokes and flashes in towards this A-bomb site. You still have Modi holding over at Pop, waiting to see if any aggression comes through. He could deviate in a little bit later on, but no, it might just be a change. They're going to go ahead and maybe try to throw a fake in. It does look to be the case. The utility's gone out toward this A-bomb site. It does keep 3 players there. Now we're going to be looking at DD alone and inside of B. Here's the footsteps. The jig is up. Modi's able to decapitate him on the entry, and Excurate rotates in to do what he can. 2 snipers in this retake. Excurate on the AWP. Somebody rotating in with that auto sniper. You do struggle with it in the retake. Flash goes high. Nico's been spotted. Excurate eyes him up. Yugi and Snappy left, both holding this passive. Gonna tap on the bomb. Molotov goes out. There's no smoke to get rid of that. Snappy goes peeking in, keeps the pressure on. That timer ticking lower and lower. Now they have to go for the peek, and Bentet, he's going to get shut down. Snappy stops the defuse. Excurate left 1 versus Yugi. He sticks it, and Yugi wins the duel. 8 HP, and he locks in another round for Heroic.
Yeah, way too close for comfort there. And a nice attempted retake. Now, of course, the B site is one of the more retakeable sites in the game, if not the most. I think statistically it was at least. And the passive style of play of holding it has somewhat gone out the window a lot of the time. So only just work, and we see the old classic of the Molotov bouncing off the door. The thing is, though, TyLoo still have lots of money to buy back in. The double AWP will remain. Excurate is going to be going for that opening pick. DD with a little bit of aggression over towards that B side as well, but once again, it's a similar looking setup for TyLoo. A little bit more on that A site, although the rotation looking tempted from Bunter. Ivy has been a difficult spot to take, and in fact, we will see, at least for now, the fallback from this T side. Maybe a smoke setup in for Heroic. Now, both teams' economies, again, is on the brink. Snappy setting up the smoke. The rest of the team throwing in the same. As said by Peacemaker, it's an execute-heavy team. Excurate is going to be up close with that AWP. Maybe a little bit of a surprise factor. Rubino's already found one, and they've gone straight past him. However, did Yugi just spot something? It seemed like he may have had an inkling that his opponent is there. Again, the bomb's going to be going down without a single T dying yet, and Nico now gets rid of Excurate as well. They're just being cleaned up one by one. DD and Captain Mo. Well, now just Captain Mo. He's been the star of the show for this CT side. This is a big ask, and finally we see that he is human. He misses the shot onto Snappy. It will be another round on the board for Heroic. And now the CT side, well, they've loved those double AWPs. Now they can barely even afford rifles.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a very dire spot, Tom. They can't even afford rifles. They can't barely afford them. They just can't. There's 3 players that could pick one up, but they wouldn't have armor with it. Somebody could get a rifle with armor. It's an awkward situation to be in. You imagine this is where they partial buy in, so that they can full buy into the last round of the half. If they get the partial buy, you know, we could see a scout be brought out for somebody. They don't have to keep it. He's been struggling a bit. But they could field a decent buy with armor behind the pistols. Nice bit of utility to accompany, and that does look to be the case. Heroic, they're looking really good. This is a T side of train, let's not forget. You're moving into the CT side, they're going to feel that much more comfortable.
Oh yeah, as well. At the T side of train is another one of those maps where you can just feel like you're running straight into a brick wall at times. It's even happened to Heroic. The 5 rounds in a row came in for TyLoo in the middle of the park, but the question is, can they now get all of the rounds either side? Modi waiting patiently as a push will be coming into upper B. Somebody leading the way. So good with that CZ. Of course, he gets the kill, but he's lost 2 teammates on the A site. Bomb will be going down without much problems. Somebody is could be looking to try and take over this pop control. They're going to drop down together, but it won't work out. Rubino gets both DD's the only man surviving, and even that doesn't last very long. It'll be 9-5. CT side will have a bye for the final round of the half. There's a chance that they could drop a secondary AWP over to Captain Mo if they really wanted it. I feel like that might be the conversation that's going on at the moment. It isn't going to happen. I'm quite surprised by that, really, because he has been the star. I don't want to take one away from Xcure. It's just somebody goes heavy on the utility. I wonder if maybe having that AWP had more value for TyLoo.
I'd have to agree with you there, Tom. Captain Mo has been a beast on that secondary AWP. At least on this map. I got the... Gonna have the rotation over here towards IB on. Captain Mo through the smoke, gonna get caught by Rubino. And that's the big threat of TyLoo taken down. Man advantage gathered for Heroic. Gonna be lining up smokes once again over here towards A. You still have Xcure waiting. Holding the angle from connector. 2 players rotated into this B-bomb site. Smokes and Flash is going to rain in towards this A site, and they are going to go pushing on through them. Rubino is the point man. He's the one to try and make the magic happen. Somebody's there. He's been held back. He's going to start to progress through this smoke. Does deny the plant, but Rubino is able to trade. That's bought time. Rubino's in with a second. His third in total. Now he's going to look to get the bomb plant as well. Didi and Buntet, the 2 players from B, tasked with trying to retake this site. Snappy's going to dispatch of Didi, and it's Buntet. 1 versus 3. Often the man we praise for TyLoo. He has to step up massively here in Heroic. Just sat pretty in the afterplant. Rubino holds the angle. Rubino picks himself up a 4th, and Heroic, they're going to be 10-5 in the end of this first half.
Yeah, and it seemed like different players each time sort of stepping up. Snappy had a phenomenal half. 18-10 in the scoreboard. Rubino coming to life towards the end, and Yugi, of course, I think he was 9-0 at one point, so slowing down a little bit from the beginning, but it's looking like somewhat what we expected. 10-5. Dominating T side. There was some hope from TyLoo when they had the cash in play. They had all of that extra money. The double AWP setup will be coming in quite often for them. But now Heroic going onto their CT side. If they win this pistol, I think the game is done.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, for Heroic, it looks very dominant right now. And TyLoo, the players that they need to step up are not. And, I mean, that's always kind of been the case for them on this map. It's one that they've struggled on a lot. We see that whenever they've played it versus a lot of the European teams who, aren't some of them not even all that great at trade, they still manage to struggle quite a lot. So versus Heroic now, where this is arguably their best map. I mean,
I don't even think it's arguable. It is their best map.
That's the biggest issue for TyLoo, is like this is their worst nightmare of a matchup, because their 2 weakest maps just so happen to be Heroic's 2 best, or 2 very, very strong maps, at least, because Nuke obviously is kind of
there aren't that many
matter
teams
of
to play.
debate. Yeah. But then it just becomes for TyLoo, like, do they veto the map that they never play, or do they give Heroic their best map? And,
I think to be honest, I do think they made the right choice.
No, definitely. I have to agree with you there. But that's what I mean. Like, in terms of this matchup, TyLoo all relied on them winning that first map. But I'm not talking like they're out of this just yet, Tom. It's 5-10. The pistol around here carries great importance, and Heroic, they're going to be feeling good. Sat in the driver's seat right now, 10-5. Didi and Captain Mo going to go ahead and clear out Pop Dog.
They faked it.
Ooh, Didi going to go charging in. Look at that. Moddy's already on 2 HP. Damage being done, but it's Yugi. Oh, Yugi rains down death. He's looking for a little bit more, just ducks away, and in the blink of an eye, it's all on Didi. He did good damage early on, but Rubino, Yugi, and Snappy hold down the fort on A.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting strategy there. They try and sort of fake out using the smokes over towards the B site. The problem is that nobody really rotated. They had a little bit of a look, but it's such a fast rotate that the players didn't really get caught off by the Molotov by the time they got in. They realized there was no one there, and then they just double back over towards that A site and destroy absolutely everyone. Once again, we'll have the force buy in now. We saw TyLoo and Inferno manage to win one of these second round buys, The problem is it's so much more difficult on train to get these closer angle positions. And these guys love the CZ so much where the close angles are just going to be so much more beneficial to this gun. But getting those are just difficult. Already they've lost the first man. Modi going aggressive. Further back we'll see the rifles of this CT side. Through the smoke goes one. Rubino's catching players left, right and center. Eventually he goes down. Actually Yugi's going to be missing a shot, but he has support at least. Modi closing it down to just somebody. Now he is the CZ master, but unfortunately even he can't do anything there. 3 kills, 12-5. And it is going to be just, again, maybe a P250 or 2. I don't even really think they can afford that. And TyLoo are going to be facing from a 13-5 deficit to try and get back in on their opponent's map pick. They're going to need to step up. They're going to need to step up big.
Yeah, I mean, the level of which they're going to have to play will be insane.
How are you feeling about your prediction?
Not great, I'm going to be honest with you. I felt better. But you know what they said? They said the same thing about Renegades when they were down 0-11. Here we go. 5 players over here towards this B bomb site for TyLoo. They're going to go rushing in. Nico's here. Nico wants to try and make fat stacks. And Nico, well, he makes a little bit of money. Not exactly anything to write home about. $1,200.
He
was hoping... Exactly. There you go, Tom. Nice meme. He makes some money, and now he's probably going to likely stick on that UMP. Rubino going to stick on the MP9. Ooh, maybe not. Going to throw over... Ooh, no. He's going to take the FAMAS instead. That's because they had to upgrade to the AWP on Yugi anyway. How much further are we going to zoom? Just right into his eyes. Heroic, they're 2 rounds away from map and series point here on train. Their map pick. So far, they've shown utter dominance. Of course, that was on the T side. They've won the pistol in the consecutive rounds, and now for TyLoo, they're down here towards Ivy, trying to win it back on their buy. Rubino holds close. The flash going to go over his head. Somebody's able to find that first frag, and now Yugi, the man who was responsible for trying to trade, does miss the follow-up shot. So the man advantage taken early on by TyLoo. Going to be extended that much more as Modi goes down, getting aggressive over in main. Snappy. Actually going to try his hand aggression down towards Ivy. It goes down as well. So now Yugi desperately trying to fight for his life on the bomb train. Buntet finds him. It's all on Nico. 1v4. TyLoo, they're not ready to give this one up just yet. They get a 6th round. Unless Nico can clutch 1v4, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I feel like your prediction, at least in this sense, is safe. Nico.
You know, I love Nico, but this one is a little bit too out of the question. I think he's looking for this M4. And there are 2 players watching it. But he's got... I can't think of what the saying is when you have the ability to steal. Ooh.
Burglar?
No. Yeah, Nico. Oh, he's such a burglar, Tom. Nico the burglar.
Or maybe like Deal or No Deal on one of them. Like you can steal the box away. Actually, that might have just been like a robbery on the show. I'm not sure what happened.
I didn't know that was a thing, Tom.
No, it wasn't. Well, you can switch, but it's not quite the same.
Switching isn't stealing.
Well, it is if I go into your house and switch something you don't want.
What's it, like sleight of hand.
Isn't that for just reloading?
No, that's, oh, you cod. Cod boy.
Cod boy.
It's a fairly fishy
British.
superhero name. I didn't hear what you said.
I said I am British. Joke. It was a fish and chips joke.
Ah.
Good. The classic.
Quality memes here on the second stream. Somebody, well, he's already out over here towards Ivy. DD's with him. They're grouped up. Modi, Nico, Rubino, Snappy. 4 names that you wouldn't want to run into currently reside on this A-bomb site. Rubino's going to turn his attention back towards the angle at Ivy. Ooh, Captain Mo's gone down. Going to go pushing through the smoke. They don't anticipate Snappy. He resides over in Olaf. And Sintry going to go out. Modi finds himself another kill. Didi does what he can, but ultimately it's only one. And now it's Excurate, the AWP for TyLoo, back against the wall. is going to be dancing around, but Modi, not a fan of his moves. Bests him on the dance floor.
You don't like dancing. Either way.
Fan of karaoke, I hear, though.
Yes.
If you remember Shanghai, Tom.
I
do you remember Shanghai?
I do remember Shanghai.
I'm surprised you do.
I'll question if Nico remembers Shanghai. He does have a beautiful singing voice, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah, big fan of Screamo.
Shout out to Risk as well. He's a very good singer.
Yeah. Here we
Either
go.
way, 1 AK, 4 CZs to try and save them here. This is all they have to invest into this round. Once again, I spoke about this as Train. They've got the Catalyst. They've got Nico on the site alone. Snappy leading the way in frags, 23 and 13. But let's see, can Nico do the damage here? Already dinks up 2 players, gets the first kill, second already, falls his way, spraying away, does the damage, and Yugi's there to pick off 1 more. It's down to Exker and Buntet, and they've just been absolutely wrecked. Only 1 player lost, and that was the man himself on the site. 15 to 6. They'll get the bomb plant, they'll get an extra little injection of cash, but ultimately it comes down to very little for TyLoo. 15 and 6. The third map seeming very, very far away. And while you spoke about Renegades, they don't quite need 11 rounds in a row. They do, however, need 9.
Yeah, this is going to be one for the record books if they get it done, Tom. But I think for Heroic, the pressure's all gone now. They're at the finish line, and they can just coast it across the end. Although, that's never gone well for any team that's ever adopted that mentality. So let's see. The push comes in out towards, let's say, bomb site, at least initially. Yugi, with his prying eyes, going to be looking down range. Just in one scope. Spots the man over towards the Train. Going to be tagged by somebody. The scout ultimately not enough to find it, though. Does do some damage. Going to keep creeping in, and Yugi, he has been tagged low. But that doesn't stop him taking this fight. Buntet baits the shot out. The nades finding a little bit of chip damage. Snappy going to be in with 1 more. The AWP's just picking TyLoo apart. That's the bomb drop now, and Yugi has got it in his sights. There should be no way for TyLoo back into this. Captain Mo now falls. It's all on Buntet. 1 versus 5, and Modi will shut him down. Heroic, we asked did they have what it takes to win this out 2-0. Tom, you said they did, and they proved you right. A convincing 2-0 win. First map did come down to the wire, in all fairness. It was a good showing from TyLoo early on, but it was a map that they had to win. As Train, somewhat the home of Heroic, of course they looked good on it. They're able to close that out very, very quickly. And that now means that they're going to take this 2-1.
Yeah, no, it's not the end for TyLoo yet.
In the group stage, the grand scheme,
yeah.
not in this matchup,
Yeah.
just to clarify.
I knew it,
Not
yeah.
for you, Tom, just in
I know.
case.
But either way, that does not mean it is the end of TyLoo just yet. They will go into the 1 and 2 bracket. Strong performance over on Inferno. I do think, I have to agree though, the map pool of Heroic, it sort of played against them because they were going to get one of the 2 maps that they hated. They went for Train, which again is the lesser of 2 evils, I believe, but the fact is they needed Inferno. If they'd taken it to Mirage, who knows could have happened, and I feel like they will feel a little bit hard done by the fact that they did have like a 7-round lead at one point on Inferno and ended up throwing it away, or no, was it 7-round? No, I think it was 5-round lead. Either way, they were in a strong position to actually take that map, and it ended up throwing away.
Yeah, it was 14-9 at one point in time. So yeah, that was a 7-round streak necessary for Heroic to win that out, and they managed to do so. So I think we can say there that TyLoo, even though they looked good on Inferno, they had to win that. And ultimately, as a result of them, kind of throwing that away, I think the better team did win here. Heroic looked very good. Everything kind of slotted into place for them. And, Yugi, took him a while to warm up. The second he was there, he was just on a tear the whole time. And I was also quite happy with Snappy. All of these rhyme, entirely by mistake, of course, but yeah. No, I think that was good. And the addition of Rubino, even though it's taken a little bit of time kind of to figure out how to slot him in because of their style, I think he's going to complement this team, very well. I think better than S-Tag did as well. That was a real issue for them, right? You kind of bought this player and you go, okay, you're replacing Valder. No easy task. But anyway, they can probably tell you about it better than I can over on the stage.
Hello, everybody. Snappy, we are live. No, don't worry. It's not a problem at all. Congratulations. That was quite a comfortable victory for you guys against TyLoo. Did you have any reservations with the fact that they beat Fnatic yesterday?
We knew that TyLoo was good on Inferno. We actually expected them to pick Cobblestone against us, so we were quite surprised that we ended up on Inferno. We tried to play our own game, and it was a real struggle. We could easily have lost Inferno, but with this team, we've done a lot of great comebacks lately, and I'm glad we pulled it through again.
Yeah, did you have any particular expectations of TyLoo as a team? How did you guys prepare for them specifically?
Today we actually didn't prepare because we got the matchup at 2 a.m. The draw was really late last night, so we decided we were just going to play our own game, focus on ourselves, so that's how we approached it.
All right, and you mentioned focusing on yourselves. You've got Casper here, who's head of sports for Refresh, looking after you guys and Astralis, and I overheard him just saying now you guys got to see you at the gym at 4, we're just going to do some light stuff, like physical stuff. How does that work in terms of like the structure and him like looking after you guys at this event? Because it sounds like he's a great positive influence.
He's definitely putting some new stuff on the map that we need to get used to. But having him here and getting some structure and having a guy that everybody listens to and respects a lot, that's certainly great. And we are gonna try to follow his advices as good as we can.
And with regards to you personally, how is it playing with Rubino?
It's amazing. He's really good with info, coming up with ideas. I actually needed a guy for some time that helps me more with the mid-round stuff, and I think Rubino's really great at that. So the addition is the correct one. There's no doubt.
Does it help with regards to the fact that yourself and Rubino have kind of like maybe, and of course Modi, you guys are kind of like the more experienced on the team than Yugi and Nico. Sorry, my mind was going blank there. You can kind of guide them, and help them and show them from your experience.
I don't know. I really think a lot of that with the experience stuff that's sometimes kind of overrated. Both Nico and Yugi have played on LAN for 1 year, so now they have the experience on LAN. But regarding stuff like giving info, giving input, I think it really comes down to what kind of player and what kind of person you are. I think there's multiple players that are young that are going to do it, and there's multiple players that are old that's not going to do it. So I don't really think that comes much down to experience. That's really how you are.
Okay, and you're now on a 2-game win streak. Overall, though, 2-1 win-to-loss ratio. Can you carry that momentum forwards going into your next match and potentially make it into that top 8?
We hope so. We have 2 chances now, and yeah, it's looking good.
All right, well, excited to see what happens next in the competition for you guys, and congratulations once more.
Yeah, thank you very much, of course, from Parla and Snappy. And I actually like that. I like that Snappy was just honest there. It's just like, yep, no, I don't agree with like the idea of like, oh, because you're older or because you played longer, it necessarily means that you'll give the input. It just gives true props to Rubino saying, okay, yeah, this guy has not only come in and actually put up some decent numbers as well in this series, but it also come in and helped with the mid-round calls and helped with how they've been able to switch things up. And they had an impressive T-side on Train, so I think that input definitely went down well. Of course, that was the weaker of the 2 maps for TyLoo, no doubt. But at the same time, credit where credit is due.
Yeah, no, they did look good. And I think, going forward for Heroic, they only need to win one more match now, sorry. I mean, very easy if that's the case. One more match.
And they need to win this 3-0, otherwise it doesn't count.
To make it through to the playoffs. So that is always exciting. I think a very exciting prospect for them, considering they've just bought Rubino and having that much improvement. Like Heroic, a team that attends a lot of these big events, but never, we never normally see them out of the group stage. So, being able to then come to their first with this new lineup and instantly achieve some success, that's going to be fantastic for them. And as well as that, I mean, I've never really heard too much spoken from the Heroic guys. Obviously, we spoke to them a lot ourselves, but in terms of like the interviews, and I mean, the amount of light that Snappy just kind of shed on it all there, how well spoken and everything he was, I would love to hear more of that. So I hope to see them do well at this event. And of course, there's a comparison. between Captain Mo and Snappy. And yeah, I mean, he had a fantastic performance there on train. There's no doubt about it. It's just the issue is while it was a good map for him, it's not a good map for the rest of the team. That's kind of the problem there.
Yeah, well, it was a great CT side from him, but on the T side, I think that was where they looked very flat indeed, and I didn't really see any sort of way back from them from that. They needed to win Inferno. It didn't happen. Either way, that does send them down 1 and 2, and of course that means 2 and 1 for Heroic. We've already had our elimination matches, and then I think we got one more 1-1 match, and then one of our winners matches coming up just after the break. But of course, you'll be joined then by Hugo and Vendel.
LootBet, online esports betting. Dota, CSGO, Overwatch, Hearthstone, and many more. Bet on tournament matches or in-game events while viewing them live. Deposit using money, bitcoins, or even skins. Join LootBet now. Use the code you see here when you deposit and grab your bonus.
Don't know how to build a team from scratch or find good teammates? DreamTeam.gg, the ultimate team building platform. Find and connect with new players, coaches and teams. Manage and monetize your team. Get on fast track to advance from novice to amateur and, if desired, to professional gamer. Join DreamTeam.gg today.